for the new year and what I needed to do last year that I didn't do, things that improved, and things that I did well, things I didn't do well. In my garden, not my farm, my garden at my house, I think I needed to fertilize with organic fertilizer in the containers more, so I would definitely recommend that. And my containers were full of compost, so I still needed to add a lot more fertilizer, so I recommend that. And in my brassicas family, like the kale, the cabbage and stuff, I definitely needed to pick off the worms much better than I did. I was kind of lazy last year, so I definitely needed to do that way better. And I think I needed to add compost overall throughout my whole garden. I definitely picked the carrots way younger than I should have. I needed to let them grow more than I should have, and be more patient. And I don't think I would recommend growing cucumbers in containers, especially Market More cucumbers, because they do not do very well in containers. And I had them in these big round containers, and all I got was a few cucumbers, and they didn't do good. I would recommend doing them in the ground. I mean, it's always better to do stuff in the ground, but like some things like kale and stuff, don't mind it, and lettuce. Yeah, I definitely think I should have grown a bigger kind of watermelon because, I mean, it was good to grow that small watermelon. I ate it. It was just when I didn't show you guys when I opened it, but I just took a knife through and it just, like, so much water was in it. It popped open, but it tasted really good. And I think next year I want to grow a bigger one because, I mean, our family was done with it in like 10 minutes. And I don't think next year I'm going to grow Brussels sprouts. It's not worth it. It's way too hard in my zone. It never has the right time to grow and produce the Brussels sprouts, and I don't think I would recommend it to you. I don't even like Brussels sprouts that much, but they were pretty good. But I only got them that small, my biggest ones, and it wasn't even that good of a grow. So I'm not going to grow those next year. And before you guys plan out your garden, if it's by your house, definitely clean out your gutters because I had this big mistake, but nothing got disease or anything, I'm glad. But the thing just poured, and it just fell on my plants, and they're all like laying on the floor. But now you see, if you look at my couple videos back, that they did pretty good, and they got pretty tall, and I got a ton of tomatoes. So that was pretty good. Now I'm going to go on to my garden, what I did good in my garden, what I did bad, what you should and shouldn't do. I think beans don't even, I mean, I have a very sandy soil, and I'll show you that at the end of the video. But I need handfuls of compost. I only use 2 handfuls per bean plant, but more the merrier because more compost, the taste better. I did add a half a cup of rock dust and a half a cup of biochar, and I did fertilize them a lot. And eggplant did phenomenal with just a half a bucket of compost. And oops. Okay, and peppers did good with a half a bucket of compost too. I think tomatoes need a lot more work. I think they need a ton of compost, like 2 buckets. So I need to do that better next year. And they need a lot of work and a lot of rock dust and stuff. And they need a lot of maintenance and make sure that they don't get disease. Because I got only a few of, like 2 tomatoes out of all those. And how you saw them, after they matured better, they had these big old black dots and they're gross and I had to throw them away. Kale and radishes do good with none or little compost. And I did a little bit of rock dust. Bugs are not really a big problem for me. But, yeah. But if you do lettuce and stuff, it's a big problem. Or brassicas family with those worms. Animals are a small problem. I had an animal eat one of my watermelons. but it wasn't that big of a problem. So that's what I think, is that you should be careful about animals, because, especially in Michigan, because there's a lot of critters. And definitely I recommend to grow sunflowers. They attract bees and beneficial organisms, and that really helped me because a lot of wasps came and ate the bugs, and a lot of bumblebees came and pollinated my flowers, and honeybees. I saw a lot of honeybees. And behind where my land is, there's this place. Gigi, no. There's a place where there is a big old honeybee nest, and I don't want to give it to farmers, because you know what? Really, if you think about it, they just take all their honey, and I want them to be wild and not contained. But I think that that's good for me. And I definitely keep maintenance on your weeds, because if they go huge, then you just have to get a rototiller and something, and I not recommend rototilling because it just messes. It's like if a tornado came through your house, you have to rebuild it, you have to reproduce and all that stuff, and that's how those bugs have to do, because some of them die off, their house gets destroyed, and then they have to reproduce and make more of them, and then they're back. But pumpkins grow roots. I didn't know that. Watermelon don't grow roots, but pumpkins do. So where the vines go, I would put like trails of compost, so then they can dig up nutrients. But if you just do a huge area just compost, it's just a waste. Get a rototiller. I mean, if you don't, get a hand one that just pushes against the soil. They definitely help, but I didn't have one this year. And especially if you have a lot of land, but I couldn't just do my hands. Make it look. Oh, my family says it doesn't look perfect, but nothing looks perfect. But I'm gonna make it as perfect as possible. Oh yeah, definitely do not plant radishes in the summer. I thought it was gonna be a good idea. I was testing it out because I just got a ton of seeds. I was planting radishes. They just bolted. I didn't even get any radishes. And I think next year I need to put up a grape fence for my grapes. And, oh yeah, and hire people. My friends in my neighborhood, hire them. The person that has my farm, I want him to help me a lot more than he did. And I definitely recommend to get vegan Trifecta Plus. That's what I'm going to get next year for fertilizer. Last year I got some other stuff. You can look at it. It has manure in it and like stuff that could be GMO. So I'm not going to do that, even though if it says organic cross-pollination. So thank you for